Hi, this is Daniela Cambone in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we just wrapped a fantastic Gold Stock Analyst Day. Here to tell you that our beloved guest, Rick Rule, who is one of the people I respect most in the natural resource sector, is partnering with my company, Stansberry Research, in a major way. It's something we have never done before, and it could be a pivotal moment for you personally. Rick warns that we are at a unique moment in history, the likes of which he has never seen in his 50 years of investing in the natural resource sector. And he says if you get this one thing right, you may never have to worry about money ever again. So for all the details of his big prediction and the project that Rick is working on, go to rickevent.com right now. Again, that's rickevent.com to hear about the once-in-a-lifetime financial event Rick says is happening right now and will impact nearly every asset you own. Let's get to our segment today. Hi, this is Daniela Cambone, continuing with our coverage of Gold Stock Analyst Day, and I'm with the man of the hour, John Doody. He is the host of the event and also the editor of Gold Stock Analyst, which I like to say one of the best newsletters out there, period, covering this sector. Congrats, John, on that.
Okay, thank you.
And the success of this conference going on year 11, right? Year
Right,
11.
year
I
11.
want to say I was there since
From the
day
beginning.
one. I remember Jim Rickards was your keynote early
Yes,
on when
yeah.
he just burst onto the scene with currency wars. So that's how far back we go. Okay, a lot of ground to cover with you today. You had a few good points. I want to talk mergers and acquisitions we're seeing in the mining space, but I also want to talk about this exodus of silver miners all flocking to gold. First, let's get your take, right? Because I always say your newsletter is fantastic because you really assess mines from an economic standpoint. That's your background. Your take on the space right now, John?
Well, it's, with the price doing nothing, the stocks aren't doing anything either. But it's also a time when companies can make moves that because, basically if you're in this business from a mining standpoint, you're in it because you're bullish. And if you're in it, and investors are bullish too. So this is a good time for companies to be finding new projects or new companies to take over. And we see that happening now that Agnico
Right.
and Pan Am Silver, I think it's going to be Pan Am Gold soon, but got together. It hasn't closed yet, but they're taking over Yamana. And Agnico is getting the second half of the Malartic mine, and Pan Am's getting everything else, which is all gold mines, basically, or gold silver mines. And then we've got Newcrest being stalked, maybe taken over by Newmont. And so these big deals tend to trickle down. And I think that here at the conference we have 7 unicorns, companies that are basically standalone companies that can be bolted onto any portfolio of a larger miner. And there's 4 unicorns in gold and 3 in silver. And these companies are all, I don't want to say vulnerable, but they're all likely candidates because they're all unique in their own way, and they're either in production or soon to be in production. And companies like to acquire things they don't have to fix. And particularly the prices are going to be good from the acquisition standpoint.
So, John, like you said, we're seeing this merger and acquisition activity. We're seeing less projects come onto the horizon. What can we assess about the state of the gold mining space? I mean, we're going to be finding less gold.
Well, the amount of gold is always dependent upon the gold price. At $35 an ounce, some mines went out of business, and in fact, Ascot is presenting right now. Their mine shut at $35, but at $1,800, it makes a big difference. And so it's not a matter of less gold being found; it's a matter of what price you're finding
Right.
it at.
Okay, the other trend we spoke about is the silver's going towards gold, right?
Yeah.
What's up with that? Why the focus? Why the change in focus?
Well, there's not a lot of great silver projects out there. And most silver, comes as a byproduct to lead and zinc production. And that, and a gold miner or a silver miner doesn't really want to be in that business. So and gold has got higher margins. It's more predictable, and you have fewer byproducts with it. You don't have to deal with lead and zinc and that. So that Hecla really started the trend 10 years ago when they bought the Aurizon and the Casa Berardi mine. and Heckler's in the news again, trying to acquire this property, gold property in ATAC in the Yukon. So, but there's been a number of silver companies. If you want to grow, it's hard to grow in silver, and it's easier to grow in gold.
We're talking gold price. It's having its best start of the year in a decade. Is this going to be the year for precious metals? Is it reminding you of 2012 a bit?
Oh, I don't know. I think the economy is a little bit different, but 2012 was still coming off of the 2009 crash and everything associated with that. We haven't had that crash yet. I think that we're going to have a recession. The yield curve with a 2-year note is higher than the 10-year note. There's an inverted yield curve. That's always led to a recession. Maybe not tomorrow, but some could be by the end of the year. And we're seeing some issues with that, with this sales, final sales, and I think that when you've got a recession on the horizon, what does the Fed do? Lowers interest rates. What does lower interest rates means? Higher gold prices.
So do you think we'll see, they've said they're going to have to continue raising rates.
Well, you can't, if you believe the Fed, everything they said, you wouldn't be very smart. They have to, one of their tools is called jaw boning.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. And that's what they do. And there's so many of them that can talk that they all say different things to confuse the market.
So, I guess if you had to pick, would you, as an investor, would you place your bets on silver? Will it just follow gold, or gold versus silver, or both, or platinum, palladium? What do you like?
I'm a gold bug. Silver is gold on steroids. When gold does well, silver does great. But you can't wait for a once a decade big spurt up in silver. Remember, silver's last spurt was to $50, and what was that, 10 years ago?
Right.
So it could happen again. It's halfway there now, but I think gold is more reliable.
Like I said, you're an economist at heart. Just your take on inflation, John. How sticky is it? Everyone was expecting it to go away, but the numbers are proving otherwise. Yeah, how much longer do we have to live?
Well, prices never go down. You reach at a plateau, and now we have coming on is what we economists call the base effect. That we're going to be comparing prices now to prices that are 1 year ago, and though prices 1 year ago are high. So, like for example, in June of last year, gas was $5 a gallon. Now it's $3.50 or so a gallon. So if the prices stay like they are now, $3.50 looks pretty cheap versus $5. So that the base effect, what you're comparing it to, is getting higher, and the effect of it will be the inflation will come down all on its own just because the base rose. Prices aren't going to go down.
We can always count on John Doody to tell it like it is. Continued success with the newsletter. I've said it even before I joined Stansberry. It's the best newsletter out there covering the space.
Well, you're very kind, and we've been at it 29 years now.
So you know a little something about.
Yeah, and we visit the sites that we talk about.
You do.
We've been to, the companies presenting here. We've been to 7 of their mines. And the thing about visiting a mine is not so much seeing the mine. We're not geologists, but you get a sense of how the property is run, and spend time with the management and the managers, and make an assessment of them, because they make it work. The geology can be great, but you've got a bunch of duds running the mine. It's not going to work.
All right, John Doody. Final thoughts for investors.
It's going to be a good year. It hadn't started recently. The gold price has been come back a bit, but I think we're going to end the year higher.
All right, John Doody, editor of the Gold Stock Analyst newsletter. We'll have more incredible coverage coming your way, so be sure to stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the contributor and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Stansberry Research, its parent company, or affiliates.